Allen taking the snap. Kincaid is back there too. Allen to the outside. Open man. First down. His problems have come on the road. He's going to keep it. Quarterback draw. With a 6'5", 237-pound quarterback. Looks to his left. Comes to his right. Picks up another first down. Shakir breaks the tackle. Shakir staying in bounds.
It could be Shakir tonight.
Again, a floater, and this time it's caught along the sidelines there. Gabe Davis. 5 wide. Send an extra man this time. Caught along the sideline here. Staying in bounds. Good years at Minnesota now with the Jets. Allen hangs in there. Fires. Caught. A bunch off to the left side. Allen looking that way. Throwing that way. Great tackle at the 19-yard line. One of the best in the league, 37-yard attempt to try to give them the lead, which he does, barely gets it inside.
We learned how quickly he could pick up a system last year in Los Angeles.
He's had 7 different offensive coordinators. Meanwhile, breaking a tackle, Chris. Mayfield hangs in the Camarda to hold. And the kick is no good, not even close. James Cook is the running back. Play action. Allen stepping away, fires at the 40.
Keep an eye on that.
If he can't come back, that would be down 2 starters. Meanwhile, grab there. 2.5 to go, still going up tempo. This time the protection is fabulous. And the pass is 2 inside. He'll take it out of the gun and give it to Murray, and Murray gets stuffed. Throws, knocked away. So once again, Tampa Bay, and Kirk talking about how they stiffen in the red zone. Well, they only sent 4. Mayfield fires, tipped, and incomplete. Batted twice that time. Leading the league in gross punting average, 52.9. His first boot was 53 yards. This is a line drive, caught at the 45, and still on the move, and now moving backwards and trying to get around the corner this way. Hardy, Diggs moving. Cook inside handoff, nice hold. Allen flushed out, chased. Gets tripped. Allen's going to run it. Crowd loves it. Touchdown. Third. Empty backfield. Mayfield firing, caught wide open at his own 48 and taking it to the. Mayfield fires, that's caught in the NFL. Here they come. Mayfield hangs in, throws in, got the touchdown back in the 10th. Meanwhile, you've got a field goal attempt here of 57 yards. Good.
And that's kind of the balancing act that Ken Dorsey and this offensive coaching staff, what they deal with.
Start with Cook in the backfield, play action, tipped in the air, and Tampa Bay thinks they have come up with it. Meanwhile, coming in.
Here he comes right here, expecting that boot, gets into his face, ball's in the air, and the Bucs have great field position.
Golston, his 11th season in the league, at the 23-yard line. Mayfield now off play action, sets up a screen. White inside the 20, first down and more, and a first and goal. Play fake, pass is caught for the touchdown. You get the interception, you got a nice run by White, then you got the pass to Godwin, and we're a point away from being tied.
Look at this play action. Linebackers come down. What a route by Godwin. He had inside leverage by Johnson. He works him to the outside and then a quick instep.
Inside handoff, cutting to the outside. Nice move. Cook for a gain of 9. Hangs in. Wide open. Davis tripped up. Diggs. Down the sideline he goes. Pressure again. Runs away from it. Throws on the run. Caught! Touchdown! Dalton Kincaid.
You're always concerned about what he can do. Shows blitz, drops in great position. Great position, but now he steps up. It's going to stop him from running. And I'll tell you, the more you watch 86 in this offense, and I know they've had Dawson Knox.
And we saw him in the tent, of course, when he comes back, throws the pick, and then that drive. Meanwhile, the hole here.
Again, we keep talking about if Rachaad White has a little bit of room, what he can do with the football.
This is his longest gain of the season. Takes the swing pass here. On 3rd and 3. Mayfield fires. Caught.
Soft coverage, good decision.
Under a minute. White juggle.
Give Buffalo credit for using the crowd to their advantage and affecting the communication.
Mayfield under pressure. Down he goes at the 46-yard line. And there's Ed Oliver.
Right.
3rd and 15. Free over the middle, and that he is indeed, as he starts this half with play action, the pass over the middle. That's going to be a gain of 19.
Him using his legs to make plays.
Open. Allen over 200 yards passing. Fakes a throw. Quickly. Davis. Fake. Davis again. Great move to the inside. Murray stays in. Deep drop. Surveys. Fires. Open.
You got a crosser here and here, and watch them try to communicate that he's coming over. Watch him use his hands. Hey, I need help. I need help. I need help. Nobody goes with him. So,
yeah, one catch. 7 yards tonight. Mayfield under pressure. Look out. Avoids a sack. Takes off. Turns a big loss. Stepping up in the pocket. Can only. Allen fires. Caught on the run, on the move. That's fired. That's caught, but short of the first. 2nd and 14. Dancing around. That's caught and taking it beyond the first. Shoots a pass here to 2nd and 11. Mayfield steps away. Shoots it out here to Edmonds again. Starts to stumble. Maintains his balance up to the 30-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 4.
Tackle him inbounds. Let that clock keep working.
Yeah, taking too much time off that play clock. That's caught, and that's going to be a 1st down. And
down to White like that.
Now they go no huddle. Mayfield slings it to the out. Mayfield stepping up, dancing, look out. They sack him. The 45-yard line. A.J. Ebenesa. The play clock is down to 5-4 on a drive where they need to not only get into the end zone but get there quickly. Mayfield hit as he throws 53 yards and take half the quarter. And Mayfield is going to go down, and that's going to pretty much write a finish to it.
It's 2 4th down penalties.
Face mask on a defense number 97. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
I think it was Tyler Rapp that time, took away the option.
Mayfield to the outside, knocked away along the sideline. Now it's a 4th and 10. One last gasp. And that is going to be caught for a touchdown by Mike Evans. We ain't done yet.
No, we're not.
Wow.
One-on-one matchup on a deep crosser. That ball bounces off of Benford's helmet. You talk about concentration by Mike Evans. Look where he starts here. On the right, good protection. Now he's got to separate and pull away, which he's capable of doing. But the thing about the catch.
A 6-point lead. Mayfield looking, comes back across the middle, tipped and caught for the conversion. So Otten takes it in, and it's 24-18. Fired, caught, Diggs, big first down. The first of 4 of 5 on the road. Only one home game over that 5-game span. That's Murray coming up a little bit short. Who knows? Who knows? Down the sideline. Godwin wide left. Mayfield, look out. And off-balance throws, and White will have to get out of bounds. A bunch of laterals. What do we see here? Well, it's the 10-yard line. 5. Mayfield dancing all around. Throw as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time. Incomplete.
Somehow, I don't know if anybody touched that football. The closest 14.
Yeah.
I just don't think he ever really located the football. By the time he looks up, look at that.
Ooh.
If he would have looked earlier,
wow,
he catches that ball. We got a couple Buffalo guys on the ground, and Godwin's right there. He just didn't look up and see the football.
One of those crazy deals.
Just at the last second, Al, he sees it.
You can call penalties on a bunch of guys here if you really wanted to, but look at this.